All right, folks. God bless you guys. Listen, I'm pretty whipped, but I just wanted to show you guys some just to reaffirm the data, just to reaffirm how obvious this has all gotten. Okay, one thing I want everyone to think about is remember the name of the street in Grand Junction is Casimir. Casimir, it means to take the glory from your opponent in battle, and it also means proclamation of peace. I mean, that's just so prophetic. It's hard to wrap your brain around it. But I want to share something with you about the to take the glory from your opponent in battle. So think about this. So the Lord has shown me that the way the enemy communicates openly and mocks us is by taking a word that's in the Bible, and that word has a number associated with it. And they will use that number openly in front of us, knowing that that number equals the word. And then no one's any the wiser because, like Rihanna, she'll be going like this with a big S and then HHH. Well, S is the 19th letter of the alphabet, and the number 19 in the Bible means to slaughter. So the S means to slaughter, and HHH is 888, and it's and 888 is if you know anything about gematria and all that, 888 is commonly known as Jesus. So to slaughter Jesus. I mean, it's just so whacked out, it's hard to believe. So, and then also 888 can mean, if you look at the Strong's Concordance, it can mean evil. Hang on one sec. Okay, so right there. So in the Strong's, 888 means to be evil, to be bad. Okay, so it's got a duality, a layer of meaning. So the capital S and then HHH is 888. Well, I've known for a long time that 888 equals Jesus, the salvation of God. But also that 888 in the Strong's Concordance is to be evil, to be bad. So their little symbol of sh is so heavy with meaning. It's really mind-boggling to know how to understand their symbology and their language now, and just the depth of their wisdom. And they're all around us. We're surrounded by them. It's just so crazy. But now that we can read their language and when we just apply it to everything that's in front of us, it's super easy. I'm going to do that for you right now. And I'm going to show you just how pervasive this is and why, those cranes that showed up, that the numbers on the cranes were so significant because the enemy uses numbers to make fun of us. Think about it. Just like capital S, HHH. So slaughter Christians, and the HHH also means evil or bad. They're laughing at us. They're making fun of us. Well, imagine that the Lord God wants to just humiliate his opponent in battle. So he takes a miscreant like Jonathan Clegg, he converts him, and he turns him into a harbinger, a guy that used to be falling out of the sky upside down because we're all angels and we fell and we got put in host bodies, which turned us upside down contrary to the Spirit of God. So he let my entire past life be a reflection of the information that he was going to reveal to me and pour through me and give to you. And so it's this perfect orchestration of information, and my past life has everything to do with what he's doing right now to put his enemy to shame and to take the glory from his opponent in battle. Now think about this. Just think about this. So he tells me to make sure you pay attention to the cranes, the crane that shows up, and to the numbers on the cranes. That's just so bizarre. I think it was 3140 was the first number. And he said, make sure you look at it. 3140 means to give a witness, to give a testimony. Well, what do you think I'm doing? This is all about giving a testimony. And then the other number here, let's see, I have it in the show notes here. Let's see. Okay, here we go. There we go. To taking up, to ascend. Now, obviously they're picking up the container out of my backyard, taking it up to ascend. But there is a high possibility this has something to do with another ascension or another taking up. Because the bride of Christ, the container that represents the bride of Christ, is sitting right there at the corner of Rainbow and Casimir, isn't it? And now the other one gets picked up and set next to it. So the bride and the groom, the judgment seat of Christ, and the bride of Christ are now sitting together, and they're sharing a base that's 444, which means perfect love. And then the base for the one that just went up there, there are only two footings that it needed to sit on to fill that space. So two new footings were built, and the Lord told me to make them 344, which means I will return. You know what? Let me just double check that. And so 344 means I will return. So let me just, like I said, let me double check that. Strong's 344. So I just want to make a point. Let's see. To return. There we go. To return. To come back. Look, I bend or turn back, I return. Okay, so, and this is like Jesus, I will return again. So, okay. So, isn't it just fascinating? Isn't it just mind-blowing fascinating that the containers are at the corner of Rainbow and Casimir? That's impossible. Do you know? And that would be taking the glory from another king in battle, especially if they like to use numbers that have word meanings that they're taking directly from the Bible. Because the Lord God just did the same thing with a crane that showed up here, which meant to give a testimony and to ascend and taking up. And then we put that other container there in the corner of Rainbow and Casimir. And then the crane that showed up in Grand Junction, the Lord said the same thing. Mike got the same message as well. And it meant judgment and forerunner. Well, I am a forerunner. Jesus Christ is the first forerunner. But imagine how that would be taking the glory from the other king in battle. They use the same thing against the same thing that the prince of this world is doing. Using numbers that have a word meaning in the Bible, the Lord God just did in the moving of these containers. Just think about that. Now let me show you something just to prove how true that is. Okay, watch. Let's see something crazy? Watch this. This is so crazy. Okay, this is a Simpsons clip. Okay, and I'm going to put the link. You should watch this whole clip, but I don't want him to block this because of a codec thing. I'm going to use just a couple of seconds, and we'll see if it gets through. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Did you know that 34 million American adults are obese? Taken together, that excess...
Okay, 34 million of Americans are obese. 34 million. Now, like sheep, we've all gone astray, right? Watch this. Just watch. Ready? So let's look up Strong's 34. 34 means a herd. See right there? A herd. So the number 34, he said 34 million. I heard the Lord say, look it up. A herd, a flock. Okay. Well, let's watch another part of this clip. Like I said, I don't want to watch the whole thing because we'll get a violation, but watch.
Keep in mind, it is a very big canyon.
Okay, so is this eternity? So keep in mind, it's a very big canyon. They're talking about they could fill 2/5 of it with everyone's blubber. And so here's Homer on the couch, and he's just pathetically out of shape. And they're making fun of everyone's obesity in the United States and how lazy they are. That's what this whole clip is. And we just saw 34 million. He mentioned 34 million. I heard the Lord say, look it up. It means a herd. Watch this. So Lisa pictures in her mind her dad. Watch. So in her mind, she pictures her dad and his death because he's obese, and it says born 9 pounds 6 ounces, 400 died 402 pounds and 1 ounce. Okay, so is it possible that all these numbers are straight out of the Bible? Do you think it's even possible? It's exactly what's up. Watch this. So we saw a herd, and they're making fun of all the people in the United States. 34 million Americans are obese. 34 million Americans, a herd. Okay, so they're making fun of us as a herd. Now let's look at 9, 6. Okay, 9 means judgment and 6 means flesh, by the way, and 9 is a reversal of 6, but look at 9. Let me show you 96 and the concordance. It means hence unfit for something. It means not standing the test, not approved, failing to pass the test, unapproved. Now let's look at 402. Food, eating, I told you. So 34 million Americans are obese and blah, blah, blah. And they're making fun of America as being a herd that's about to be slaughtered. Watch this. So it means herd. 34 means a herd. 402 means food and eating. What was the whole clip about? The whole clip was about food and eating.
Fill the Grand Canyon 2/5 of the way up. That may not sound impressive, but keep in mind it is a very big canyon.
So they're making fun of people in the U.S. being fat, and which is true. The United States has become so obese, it's ridiculous. Okay, so and the number 34 means a herd or a flock, and then 402, which is on Homer's gravestone that Lisa pictures him dying. She pictures him dying, so 402, it means, I'm sorry, 402 means food, eating. That's what it's all about, the whole clip. And then failing to pass the test, unapproved. That's what that whole clip is about. That's The Simpsons. I mean, you couldn't even think this up. Can you imagine that the Lord God sent a crane to my house that had 3140 on it, and then whatever the other number was, let me look real quick, the other number on it, and that all those numbers, 354, it means a lifting up, a taking up. See right there? A taking up, lifting up. Maybe he's talking about taking the church out. It's highly possible. Is that a definite? Can't say that. But it would be taking the glory from another king in battle, wouldn't it? What happened to the container? It was lifted up and taken out. That's just impossible. I hope you understand that's a miracle. That's impossible. So anyway, I find this fascinating. And then let's look at the Heineken commercial. Y'all remember this? Now, this is all right out of the Bible too, because here's this guy that he's dressed conservatively. He's got his, he's well groomed, well mannered, and he's not a wild party machine. And he goes to a party, a flesh party, because the number 6 is on the door. The number 6 is the number for the flesh, because humans are 666. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. That's what carbon is. We're a carbon-based life form. So he rings the doorbell at number 6. But what's really interesting is when he rings it, the party he's supposed to be at, the guy's playing a piano and he strikes a musical note. That's exactly what it says the name Cain is, as the first child that's born from the union of the two different races. Cain means to strike a musical note. Watch this. See right there. Okay, so you have a bell ring and then a different note. Watch. And see, he's supposed to be here, but he goes to a different party. Everyone here looks, well groomed, well reserved, dignified. Now he's holding the bottle again in a phallic position. They open the door and they pull him into the flesh party. Then they take what he had in his hand and they put a Heineken with a star on it in his hand. Okay, and that's really important right there. And it's also the other girl wearing a mask right there. And, he's in this party, and if you just pay attention to the symbology around, like the eye and all this other symbology that's going on in the commercial, right there, the woman dressed in scarlet. And she's like, this is a come on, baby. So here she is, pulling this guy in, representing his fall from grace, from his dignified position into this wild party with this woman that's dressed in red and scarlet. And then they throw him out. So he got to go to the party just like, and don't forget she was in red. And so he got to go to the party, but then he gets tossed out. And then the number on the door that was a 6, now he turns it upside down and it's 9. 9 means judgment. And behind him on the wall is the number 11, angel of the bottomless pit. Because the judgment for every one of God's angels that doesn't get converted is the angel of the bottomless pit. That is your judgment. He ends up getting you. He gets your soul and you're consumed. Watch. Saw the 11 behind him right there? See the 11 on the wall? And now he turns the 6 upside down. Okay, so there. Now watch this. What's the difference between that and the Homer Simpson clip I just showed you? Nothing. Nothing. Watch. It's all the same thing. It's all the same message. Watch. So let's go back to Homer Simpson. Okay, so let's see.
In American adults are obese. 34 million American adults are obese.
So see what's all the pictures? They're just stuffing their faces. Everyone's fat. He said that's enough blubber. That's enough fat to fill 2/5 of the Grand Canyon. And he goes, that may not seem impressive, but it's a really big canyon. So 34 again, it means a herd or a flock, making fun of Americans because we're about to be destroyed. Then look what food and eating. You're going to see that on Homer's gravestone. Well, what's everybody doing here? It's food and eating. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Watch.
Taken together, that excess blubber could fill the Grand Canyon 2/5 of the way up.
Okay, so 2/5 of the way up. He's probably referring to 25. It's probably got its own meaning. Okay, 402 means food and eating. And then because of that, they're failing to pass the test, unapproved. Okay, so because, gluttony is one of the 7 deadly sins. You know that, right? Gluttony is one of the 7 deadly sins. So it's all the same. They're using numbers to convey messages to mock God's sheep. Because what's the largest altar in the world again? What is it? It's a sheep. And what's it made up of? Yeah, it's angels. Now, let me show you something right here. These were made available to me through the ministry. And y'all know what these are? These are shoes from the guy YG the rapper. Look what it says. Lost Angels. Well, let me show you something. Okay. So, the angel of the bottomless pit, Lucifer promised you a host body. He delivered. That's what these shoes represent. You got to walk around in a pair of shoes. That's what these represent. And it says lost angels. And then but Then the tongue of the shoe says F you, and then look what's inside there, a peace sign. And don't forget, this is a V also. F you, lost angel, and on the tongue, think of the tongue as like a tongue from your mouth, the part that speaks. You're a lost angel, so F you, pay me. Sorry about the lace there. So F you, pay me. Who in the world would make a pair of shoes like this? Now, what's really interesting when you go online and you look for these shoes are called Bates, and you see the 400, like let's see, you see the 400. They're called 400, but it really means hunted for dinner. Well, did you know the number 400? Right now, watch this. So the clothing line 400, the way it's spelled, it really means hunted for dinner. Hunted for dinner. Yeah. Now watch this. So let's go check out. We're going to go do Greek. We're going to go do Strong's. Oh no, it's not going backwards. Here, I'll just do a new one. I'll do Strong's 400. Watch this. Strong's 400. Food. Okay, so now we just hit a home run. I mean, I don't know if you guys understand the depth of this. So let's go to where this all begins. So remember Barack Obama at the White House Correspondents' Dinner? He said, he goes, that reminds me, security, bar the doors. Judge Merrick Garland, get out here. We're going to do this right here, right now. It's like a red wedding. He was referring to Game of Thrones where they lock the doors. It's just a bloodbath and they violently murder their opposition. The king does. That's what Obama said during his White House Correspondents' Dinner. Okay, let me tell you something. That's not a joke. It's not funny. There's no humor in it, but he got all those people to laugh at it. Everyone was like, ah, ha, ha. He was making fun of them just like The Simpsons. Americans a herd, food like eating, and then unacceptable like like get rid of them. Yeah, not meet up to the mark. Let's see, what does it say? Failing to pass the test. There you go, unapproved. There you go. Okay, so then there's Barack Obama. The joke was that Obama wasn't joking. So he was sitting there making fun of everybody in the U.S. That reminds me, security, bar the door. So shut the doors, just like in the Game of Thrones. They lock the doors, and all the people in the room at the wedding, they're all trapped, and then they just violently murder them all. Their opposition was waiting there with knives and crossbows and everything just to slaughter them. Now here's the guy that did these shoes. These are his. This is part of his clothing line. The guy, and they're called Bait. That's the guy's name is YG. Okay, so Y is the 25th letter of the alphabet, and G is the 7th. So all we have to do to understand this is watch. I'm going to do it right in front of you. So he calls himself YG. His real name's Kayvon, Davon, whatever. So 257. So 257, a brother of an intelligent one. A brother of intelligent one. Yeah, so it also means brother of understanding. So see, he's mocking everybody, and it's his Stay Dangerous tour. And look at him. He's sitting inside a bathtub, and he's got blood all over him. That's no different than Barack Obama saying what he said. Bar the doors. Judge Merrick Garland, let's do this right here, right now. Like a red wedding. He's saying like bar the doors of the United States and just kill everybody. He's the Antichrist. So watch. So now let me show you something really interesting. So This is a neighborhood watch sign. I just turned it upside down. I took all kinds of different neighborhood watch signs from all different states. This is the symbol for neighborhood watch right there. It's called Boris the Burglar. Actually, it's very prevalent. So I'm going to go to the next page, and I'm going to just show you something absolutely fascinating. Okay, so just like Madonna doing the shush thing, uh, there's a clothing line. There's a clothing line that's called Lurking Class, and they have the shush thing going on, and it says STFU, shut the F up, because they are that. These are the above ground eyes and ears of the scorpion race. And the way they got here is just like on their t shirts. This is one of their t shirts, and that is a bug coming out of a vagina, and that's representing death. That's how they got here. So here's a great symbology. Here's a guy having, looks like he's having sex, but there's a scorpion stinging him in the back, because that's what the host body system was designed to do. There's an angel, and this is how you take an angel out. This is the whole system. Now let's go down and let me just show you some amazing images. So here's this girl that there's a guy sitting back on whatever a bed thinking, hey, this is going to be great. This girl's taking off her clothes, but her shadow she's casting is that of a praying mantis. Just do the math. This is from the movie called Revenge of the Fallen. And Shia LaBeouf is on his bed. This girl comes in, throws him down on his bed, and then out from underneath her dress comes like a scorpion stinger. You know why? Because it's all true. That's why. That's all true. It's exactly what's up. That's what. This is just the spiritual world that's hidden, that you weren't able to see. There's a stinger coming right out from under her dress, under her panties, and there's the stinger that's about to get Shia LaBeouf. Okay, and this goes on and on and on. I'm going to show you the commercial by Progressive in just a minute, but I want to get down to this sheep thing. This is so fascinating. Okay, here are the shoes I just showed you, 400. Okay, so what's really fascinating, if you do a Google search, the name of the shoes are called bait. They're called bait. Now, the night I got saved, folks, I told everybody the story. The Lord told me to read the tag on the shirt. One of the shirts I was carrying said 100% nylon. And the Lord told me to turn it upside down and said 100% no line. My whole body started buzzing. And the Lord told me, if you want to know the truth, you have to turn everything upside down. Also, if you want to know the truth, you have to speak 100% truth. No line. You can't lie 1%. Try it. Try it. People lie every day, all day long. And when you quit lying and you take a stand and say, I'd rather die than lie, then you'll be able to hear the voice of God. But if you lie and lying's like part of your character, you can't hear God's voice at all. It's a contradiction. So watch this. Let me show you these tinnies. And just so you can see, look, I'm holding up the exact same tinnies right here. That's what these are. Okay, there they are. Now watch this. This is fascinating. Okay, so look at this. Let's see. Okay, there you go. Bait. YG Reebok Classic Nylon. Wow. No lying. The Bait. Reebok Classic Nylon 400. Hunted for dinner. The Bait. Reebok. Look, nylon. F you pay me. See, they know. They know. They know. They're walking around in shoes that are saying, Lost Angels, F you pay me. And on the inside there's, let's see, let me get that out of the way. On the inside there's a peace sign, which is a mockery. See, peace, but it's also the number 2. And then that is like a 0, but it's also a hook, like a fishing hook. See, bait. Get it? Because the host body system was the bait. Because you can occupy a host body and have sex. Don't worry, you won't lose your eternal life. Big fat lie. But look at this. All of them say nylon, no line. Because see that isn't that fascinating that when the Lord called me, the way He showed me the absolute truth of everything was to read one tag that said 100% nylon, and He said turn it upside down. And here it is 17 years later, and it's the most profound thing in the world that one tag in my clothing solved everything. 100% nylon, turn it upside down. And here they are making fun of us, saying nylon, bait, 400, hunted for dinner, no lion. Get it? Hunted for dinner, no lion. It's so unbelievable. It's like, and so now we have this container thing showing up. We have the container that's shown up in Grand Junction, right? And so the crane that shows up here in San Antonio, the meaning of the numbers on the crane meant to give a testimony, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm giving you a testimony, showing you the truth. I have a revelation gift because we're in the book of Revelation right now. We're literally in the book of Revelation on the timeline of the Bible. We're in it right now, and all hell's getting ready to break loose. And so I'm giving a testimony against them, against the ones that took us captive. I'm giving a witness against them. Think about that those containers are on the corner of Rainbow and Casimir. Just think about that for a sec. To take the glory from another king in battle. That's exactly what we're doing. It's just like, you can't make this up. Okay, so watch this. Let's jump around a little bit. Let's have a little fun. So I'm going to go to the Bible real quick, and I'm gonna show you. Let's see. Hang on one second. So we're gonna go to Isaiah 54. I don't do the NIV. I'm gonna do the KJV. But wow, I want to show you something. This is just so staggering. Okay, now watch this. So listen to this. So when the first container got moved to Colorado, and it got by just out of every address it could have gone to in the whole world. I had to move it because of the property dispute of the house I'm in because my dad died. And even though the money that bought this house was money that was taken from me, from my family, to buy this house, they put it in my dad's estate. So my brother and sister said, well, we have legal claim to your house and all this nonsense. I was like, whatever. So the shipping container was here and it was under the threat of being taken by, family members in my dad's estate. And I was like, do you guys think you even own my shipping container or what? And I couldn't get a straight answer. So the Lord, a friend of mine, I used to talk to Michael about 3 to 4 times a year. And Michael Spear contacted me and he just offered me a place. Hey, if you need to put the container somewhere, you can put it at my house. And he planned on just putting it in his driveway. Yeah, he already had plans for his backyard, but so he offered me this place for the container, and I mean, just think about that. Out of every address in the world, that the one address that was offered was at the corner of Rainbow and Casimir, 154 Rainbow Avenue. Well, I heard the Lord very clearly say, look up the meaning of 154 in the Bible. It's very important. Now, this is before the Lord taught me to use the Strong's Concordance and how the enemy used the Strong's Concordance to convey meanings like I just showed you. And so I heard the Lord say, look up the meaning of number 1, biblical meaning of number 1. So what I did was I typed into Google, I typed in Bible meaning of number 1, and I just typed it in, and it says the number 1 in the Bible. And so I clicked on, I just that's what the Lord had told me to do back then. So I clicked on Probably the first link that came up. There it is. Yeah, that's exactly what I clicked on. Number one is only divisible by itself. It is independent of any other numbers, yet encompasses them all. Yeah, this is the exact page I opened up on way back then. It symbolizes the Bible, the unity and the primacy of the oneness of the Godhead, what is known as Shema, or Shema, O Israel, for the Lord your God is one. And it also represents the unity between God the Father and his Son Jesus. Okay, so when the Lord's telling me back then, when the first container went up to the corner of Rainbow and Casimir, the Lord told me type into Google the Bible meaning of the number one. I just did it in front of you. And then he told me type in the Bible meaning of number 54. It's fascinating because he did everything on according to his time. Because now I would think, oh, type in Strong's 54, but back then he hadn't even taught me how the enemy communicated like that. So he told me type in Bible meaning of 54. Watch. So look, I typed in Bible meaning of 54. What's the first thing that comes up? Isaiah 54. Well, Isaiah 54. Do y'all know what Isaiah 54 is about? It's about the birthing of God's children. Sing, O barren woman, thou that didst not bear. Look, watch. Sing, O barren, thou that didst not bear. Break forth into singing and cry aloud, thou that didst not travail with child. For more are the children of the desolate, which is us, than the children of the married wife. That's the flesh system, saith the Lord. Enlarge the place of thy tent, let them stretch forth curtains of thine habitation. Spare not, lengthen thy cords, and strengthen thy stakes. Thou shalt break forth on the right and on the left. Thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles and make desolate the cities of the inhabited. Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither shalt thou be confounded. For thou shalt not be put to shame, for thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth, and not remember the reproach of thy widowhood any more. For the Maker is thine husband. Stop for a minute. Your Maker is your husband, the groom. Oh, wow. Watch. Just watch. Watch where this goes. Thine Maker is thy husband, the Lord of hosts is his name. And thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, the God of the whole earth shall he be called. For the Lord hath called thee as a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth, when thou wast refused, saith God. For a small moment I have forsaken thee, but with great mercies I will gather thee. So now this is a scripture talking about gathering that which had not even been birthed yet. Think about the end of the world and the birthing of everyone into this new kingdom. Think about that. Wrap your brain around that. Watch. And a little wrath I hid my face from thee for a moment, but with everlasting kindness I will have mercy on thee, saith the Lord thy Redeemer. Okay, now, before I read this next verse, try to wrap your brain around this. The first container went to the corner of Rainbow and Casimir. 154 Rainbow. The Lord told me look up the meaning of one, Shema, O Israel, for the Lord your God is one. It represents the primacy of God, the unity of God, and the unity of Jesus and the Lord God as one. And then the number 54, it said, Isaiah 54. And so here we are in Isaiah 54. Now, what was the covenant that the Lord God made with Noah? He made a covenant that he wouldn't flood the earth with water again. The next time he destroys the earth, it's going to be with fire. The earth is reserved for fire. But he said, I won't do it with water again. And what was that covenant? A rainbow. A rainbow was the sign of the covenant. He'll put it in the sky. Okay, where's the first container? It's on Rainbow. Okay, at the corner of Rainbow, and the word Casimir means proclamation of peace. That's what Casimir means, and to take the glory from another king in battle. Ready? Watch this. For this is as the waters of Noah unto me. For as I have sworn, that's a rainbow, that the waters should no more go over the earth, so I have sworn that I would not be wroth with thee. For the mountains shall depart and the hills shall be removed. By the way, that's where the container is, in front of the mountains and the hills. But my kindness shall not depart from me, neither shall the covenant of my peace be removed. Guys, the container is at the corner of proclamation of peace and rainbow. Covenant of peace right there, and the waters of Noah should no more. That was right there. That was a rainbow right there. That's insane. Neither will my covenant of peace. Casimir and rainbow right there in Isaiah 54. 154. Just try and wrap your brain around this. It's like, and then the crane shows up here to pick this thing up. This one, the container that just left here represents the judgment seat of Christ. Okay. The crane that showed up was to give a testimony and to lift up, a lifting up. And it's like an ascension, an ascending. So crazy. Then it drives all the way from here to Colorado, and it shows up again at the corner of Rainbow and Covenant of Peace. And it sits right down next to the other one like a bride. Well, this scripture, Isaiah 54, is talking about the groom. Thy maker is thine husband. And you're like a bride that was refused in thy youth, but I will gather thee. Yeah, are y'all catching this? How supernaturally crazy this is? Okay, so now the one that was here, which represents the judgment seat of Christ, leaves San Antonio and goes to where the one is that represents the bride of Christ. Remember, I wrote Revelation 3:10 on that one, which means I will keep you from the hour of testing, and I'll give you the name of my God and the city of my God, which is the New Jerusalem. That's the one that was already there. Well, you know, in Revelation 21, I, John, saw the New Jerusalem coming down out of heaven, adorned like a bride, right? Let me show you that real quick. Okay, so we're going to move on from Isaiah. Watch this. So we'll move on from Isaiah, and we'll go to Revelation, which identifies the other containers. Watch. Revelation 3. Okay, and to the angel of the church of Philadelphia, write these things: he that is holy, he that is true, he that hath the key of David, which is what I have, he that openeth, and no man shutteth. By the way, openeth, reversal, turn upside down. And I know thy works. I have set before thee an open door, no man can shut it. But you have kept my word, and you have not denied my name. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet. Know I have loved thee. Here it is, Revelation 3:10. This is what was on that container up there. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will keep thee from the hour of temptation. That's the great tribulation. So, because who has kept the word of my patience? Well, the angel that did all the work, and those that are part of that church that made themselves ready, like the bride. Because whoever has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit is saying to the churches. So if you're hearing this and it's falling on open ears, then yeah, you're part of the bride. Now watch. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will keep you from the hour of temptation. This is where all hell breaks loose, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold fast which thou hast, that no man may take thy crown. Him that overcometh, I will make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go out no more. And I will write upon him the name of my God, look, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem. That means new city of peace, by the way. The word Jerusalem means city of peace. That's what Jerusalem means. The new city of peace, because we're all being built up because Jesus made us at peace. So everyone that's been converted, you had that that demonic part turned right side up and you were made whole. You're not right side up, upside down in the same host body. You've been completely restored because you got flipped. Then you've been made ready. You understand? That's what all this is about. And I will give you the name of my God and the city of my God, which is, look, New Jerusalem, city of peace, which cometh down out of heaven from my God. Okay, well, it's New Jerusalem, so the New Jerusalem is kept from the hour of testing, and it cometh down out of heaven from my God. Well, it had to go up first. That's why it's kept from the hour of testing. Now watch this. Watch Revelation 21. Revelation 21. So the bride is the New Jerusalem. Watch this. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. There was no sea, and I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven. See? So New Jerusalem went up to heaven, got your complete refurbish, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Oh, wow. Just like Isaiah 54, where the containers are, the bride and the judgment seat. Just try and wrap your brain around what I just showed you. It's like, oh. Just try and wrap your brain around what I just showed you scripturally with a manifestation of those scriptures as a testimony that's actually going on right now. It's like, whoa, that's just mind-boggling. See, because that other container had been there for, since March. Over a year it's been there. Yeah. The bride has been sitting there on a foundation that's 444, perfect love. And then the Lord said, now do the next set of footings that's going to receive the judgment seat. So that other container shared one set of footings, 444, perfect love, and then the other footings that the judgment seat sat down on was, I will return. I mean, you just can't even think this up. Are y'all getting this? It's like, so anyway, I was like, yeah. Anyway, I could show you a whole lot more. I could just expose the enemy ad infinitum now because I know their playbook. I know how they do everything now. It's easy to bust them. But all these other people that, and I'm sorry, but a lot of people that think they're doing exposing the kingdom, unless you're turning everything upside down, you're not exposing a darn thing. You're just like wasting time. The only way to expose the enemy's kingdom is to do this. Now I want to read you something that's in the show notes that the Lord gave me a long time ago. And this is just so profound. Ready? So here we go. Now, I want to show you exactly what this means before I read it to you. So I'm going to show you an image of what I'm about to read. I'm going to show you an image of it first so you can understand it. Okay, so watch this. So Jesus was crucified right side up on a cross, and Peter was crucified upside down on a cross. Jesus told Peter that he would be crucified upside down in order to glorify God. He told him in John 21 his death would glorify God. And this was after Jesus has risen from the grave. Peter had denied Jesus 3 times, and of course he felt horrible about it. But then Jesus was resurrected, and he was walking along the coastline, and Peter saw him. They were out fishing, and Jesus told him, cast the net on the right side of the boat, and they threw it out, and they couldn't hardly bring in the catch of fish. And Peter saw it was Jesus, and he went, "It's my Lord," and he jumped off the boat and he swam to shore. And it was like, there's the risen Christ. Can you imagine that? And so Peter sits with Jesus, and Jesus wants to restore Peter because he knows, hey, he told him, you're going to deny me 3 times. So he's going to restore him by telling him 3 times, do you love me? By the way, This is also the modern sign of Jonas for the second coming. This is another revelation the Lord gave me. That's so mind-boggling. So how do I feed the sheep? What's Jonathan Kleck's number way to feed the sheep? I turn everything upside down. How did I show you what the virgin is? I turned it upside down. Feed the sheep. What is the virgin when you turn it upside down? It's a dead sheep. What about the largest altar in the world? It's a big dead sheep, right? Well, when I turn it upside down, what is it? It's female reproductive system. Oh, like the virgin. Female reproductive system equals virgin. So the largest altar in the world is a big dead sheep. But when you turn it upside down, it's the virgin. It's a female reproductive system. It's a vagina. Represents the virgin. So what I do is, in order to feed the sheep, I just turn everything upside down. That's the only way to feed the sheep. That is the way to feed the sheep, okay? And so watch this. Jesus knew, of course, that he was, how Peter was going to die and that what Peter's ministry would be and that he would give him the key to the kingdom of heaven. How do you open a door? You put the key in the lock and then you turn the key upside down and the bolt retracts. So in order to open the door, you got to turn it upside down. The bolt retracts and the door opens. That's how I got saved. The Lord said, read the tags and shirt, 100% nylon, 100% no line. And I was like, okay, no matter what, I can't tell 1% lie. And then I was led by the Spirit to the back of the hotel, made a decision that was life or death. I was willing to accept death just to know the truth. I went out the door, walked down these counterbalance steps, boom, hit the ground. Angel stepped up to me, pray with me, my brother. We prayed, Our Father. Water and light came down on me. Then he looked at me and said, you say Hail Mary. I looked at him confused, like, why? Even though I had no reason to know it was wrong, except that a new spirit had taken up residency in me. And then he nodded. As I said the words Hail Mary, I felt life and light leaving my body. That way I would know where death comes from, which is from the Virgin. Because when you pray to the Virgin, it equaled death. Everything's perfect now. Perfection. Absolute perfection. So now, watch this. Ready? So here we go. So they're out fishing, and so Peter swims over. Come and dine. His disciples didn't. They were too scared to ask him who he was. They know who he was. So this was the third time that Jesus showed himself to his disciples after he was risen from the dead. So when they had dined, Jesus said to Simon Peter, look, Simon, son of Jonas. See, like the sign of Jonas. He had already told Peter before he died in Matthew 16, Simon Bar-Jonah, I will call you Petros. He told him that in Matthew 16. Okay, this is so important that you guys understand this. I'm going to open up eSword. I want you to understand he had not received his new identity yet. When he told him, watch this. This is amazing. Just watch. Okay, here we go. Okay, watch this. Okay. Matthew 16. This is just Bible solid gold. Ready? Matthew 16. So he's asking everybody, who do people say that I am? But whom do people say that I am? Let me show you right up here. Whom do men say that I am? And everybody got it wrong. They said, and some say thou art John the Baptist, and some say Elias, others Jeremiah, one of the prophets. And he said unto them, but whom do ye say that I am? He uses his actual name of God, I am. And Simon Peter answered and said, thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God, right there. And Jesus answered and said unto him, blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah. I'm going to click on that. It means son of Jonas, like the prophet Jonas. But even though he wasn't his son, it means son of Jonas. For flesh and blood hath not revealed this unto thee, but my Father who is in heaven. So that's how the revelation of Christ always comes. No one comes to the Son unless the Father leads him. Now look at this. And I say unto thee that thou art Peter. Look at this word, Petros. It means a piece of rock. Look right here, Petros. It means a piece of rock because Peter would be the first building block after Jesus' death. Peter would be the first building block so they would understand the system, the key in opening the door. And I'll give you a picture of that in just a minute. Watch. So he says, I say unto thee that thou art Petros, and upon this rock, and the word is Petra right here, Petra, mass of rock, I will build my church. And the word church means a calling out. See, calling out. That's what the word church means, a calling out. And the gates of hell shall not prevail against it, and I will give unto thee the keys to the kingdom of heaven. Okay, so now watch this. Jesus just renamed Simon Barjona Petros right there. And then he tells him, look, I'm going to have to go get crucified. Watch. And so then after he renames him, from this time forth, Jesus began to show his disciples that he must go into Jerusalem and suffer many things at the elders and chief priests and scribes and be killed and raised again on the third day. So he's telling his disciples this, and he renamed Simon Barjona as Peter. Then Peter took him and began to rebuke him, saying, Be it far from thee, Lord, this shall not be unto thee. And look what Jesus says to the guy he just renamed Petros. But he turned and said unto Peter, Get thee behind me, Satan. Thou art an offense to me. Look at the word offense. It means a trap, stick, a bent sapling, snare. I'm going to highlight that for a second. Okay, ready? Watch this. Okay. I want you to see how profound the scriptures are. Watch this. A trap, stick, bent sapling, snare. So, there you go. Okay, well, there you go. You know what that does? There you go. That's the trigger mechanism. Right side up, upside down. It's a snare. It turns its victim upside down. A trap, stick, bent sapling, snare. It's a snare trap that you get caught in. So let's go back. Look at this. So he tells Peter, Get thee behind me, Satan. You are a trap, stick, bent sapling, snare to me. For thou savorest not the things of God, but the things of men. So he just renamed Simon Barjona to Petros, and then he calls him Satan. I know why, but do you know why? Would you like to know why? Of course you would. Let me show you why. Ready? Here's why. Okay, ready? So here we are now. Jesus has already been denied by Peter 3 times, and he gets crucified. Now Jesus is risen, and Peter jumps off the boat, swims over. They bring over fish. They start cooking up fish. Everyone's like, it's Jesus. No, like, awkward. Everybody's like, hey, sorry about the whole denial thing. I know you told me I'd do it. Right? I mean, what do you say? He's just sitting there. Oh, it's really good fish. It's like, so check it out. Watch this. So Jesus said, now when they had dined, Jesus said to Simon Peter, look what he says to him, Simon, son of Jonas. Wait a minute. He already renamed him Petros, but now he's calling him Simon, son of Jonas. And the reason is, how many days was Jonas in the belly of the fish? 3. How many days was Jesus in the belly of the earth? 3. How many times does Jesus tell him, feed my sheep? 3. How do I feed the sheep? I turn everything upside down. How did Peter die on a cross? Upside down. He let me know that's the only way to feed the sheep, and that is the modern sign of Jonas for this generation. Because to feed the sheep, there's only one way. Just like Peter got crucified, you got to turn everything upside down. That's how you feed the sheep. Yeah, check it out. Ready? Okay, when they had dined, Jesus said, Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou more than these? He's talking about the other disciples. He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest I love thee. He said, Then feed my lambs. Again he said look, the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, get it? Lovest thou me more than these? And he said unto him, Thou knowest I love thee. He said, Then feed my sheep. Okay, okay, this would be a good time for me just to open up another folder because I'm sorry, wrong one. Let me open up another folder because you need to see this with your own eyes. This is so profound that this is so profound. It's so mind-boggling. Okay, they call that throne the throne of Saint Peter, don't you? The big dead sheep. Yeah, this big dead sheep that everyone's laying in front of is called the throne of St. Peter because that's really Satan mocking Peter and mocking Jesus. They built a big dead sheep, and upside down it's a vagina. They're mocking the hell out of us, guys. Look at this. So here we go. Watch. So let's just zero in on the sheep. There you go. See that sheep right there? There's a sheep. That's the altar. That's a sheep. I love you in Christ. If you don't think so, you're simply blind. Okay, now we're going to turn this whole sheep upside down. And when we turn the sheep upside down, it's the female reproductive system. So how did I just feed the sheep? I'm showing, see the dead sheep? You want to know what the truth is? You turn it upside down. It's the female reproductive system. That's what destroyed all the sheep. Get it? Okay, here's another sheep. Here's another image of the virgin. You see the virgin right here? So how do I feed the sheep? I turn it upside down. It's a dead sheep. See? Or let's look at the dead sheep. I turn it right another way. It's the virgin. You see what I mean? Okay, here's a pyramid from Guatemala right here. Here's a pyramid from Guatemala. I'm going to blow this up. Look, you see right here? You see right there, there's the king wearing this crazy headdress. So to feed the sheep, I'm going to turn this upside down. And you're going to see the sheep because I'm feeding the sheep. That's how I feed the sheep. Ready? So here we go. Here's the king that I just showed you that's on the bottom part of that pyramid. But I'm just going to draw those lines over and I'm going to turn it upside down. And there's the sheep. There's its eye, nostril, lips. The ear is a penis as well. It's also, the whole thing's a female reproductive system. And there's a devil superimposed over the sheep, which is what happened to the sheep. We had a devil superimposed over us, a superhuman angel demon, a sheep and a demon together in the same host body. Wow. So that's the way that I feed the sheep, the same as Peter. In order to feed the sheep, you have to turn everything upside down. That's the only way to feed the sheep. That's why Peter was given the keys to the kingdom of heaven. Do you understand? Now watch. So he said to him the second time, Simon, son of Jonas. Wow, there it is again. See, he should have called him Petros. But the reason he's calling him son of Jonas, because the Lord God knew that in the end of the world, he would raise up a harbinger, and that harbinger would understand what this means. He said it 3 times because to feed the sheep, the only way to feed them is to turn everything upside down like Peter was crucified. That's the only way to feed the sheep. And I'm the guy that gets to feed the sheep. And I'm the guy that gets to understand that's the modern sign of Jonas for the second coming of Christ. There was the sign of Jonas for the first coming. Jesus said there will be no sign given unto you except the sign of Jonas. And Jesus was in the belly of the earth for 3 days. That was their sign that he was the Messiah. And for our generation, the one that will see the return of Christ, the sign is feed the sheep. Turn it upside down. Feed the sheep. Turn it upside down. Feed the sheep. That's why I can turn all these things upside down and show you sheep. Exactly, yeah. Here we go. Second time. Okay. He said to him a third time, Simon, son of Jonas. So see, there's the third time. So now we're dealing with the same thing as the sign of Jonas. 3 days in the belly of the fish, 3 days in the belly of the earth. Here he's telling Simon, son of Jonas, the third time, 3, son of Jonas, thou lovest me. Lovest thou me? And Peter was grieved because he said to him the third time, lovest thou me? And he said, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest I love thee. And Jesus said, feed my sheep. Let me just show you a picture again. So here you go. Here's a hieroglyph that's 1,300 years before Christ. It's Nefertiti. In order to feed the sheep, I turn it upside down, and you'll see it ends up being a sheep. If I turn this upside down, it's a sheep. There's the eye, there's the tongue, there's the nose. It's right side up right now, though. Uh, if I turn this virgin upside down, it's a sheep. If I turn this pyramid upside down, it's a sheep. If I turn this sheep upside down, it's a virgin, it's a vagina. So the way that I feed the sheep is by turning everything upside down, the same as the way Peter was crucified. So here we go. Now watch. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Y'all ready? Verily I say unto you. So Jesus said, feed my sheep for the third time. Now watch. Verily, verily I say unto thee, when thou wast young, thou girdest thyself, and walkest whither thou wouldest. But when thou shalt be old, Peter, thou shalt stretch forth thine hands. He didn't say Peter, I just put in there for you guys. But when thou shalt be old, he's talking to Peter, thou shalt stretch forth thy hands, and another shall gird thee, and carry thee whither thou wouldest not. Read it for yourself. Here it goes. This he spake, signifying by what death he should glorify God. And when he had spoken this, he said, follow him. So he just told Peter what his death would be to glorify God. Well, ready? Watch this. Let me go to the quote from the Acts of Peter that was taken out of the Bible. And this was removed from the Bible at the Edict of Constantine. They removed over 20 books. It used to be an 88 book canon, and now it's 66. Now watch. Here it is. Now watch. This is verse 38 from the Acts of Peter. Okay, now Peter, and by the way, everything up there on that wall behind me, that whole thing is the Acts of Peter, verses 37, 38, and 39. The Lord told me to print it up and put it up there. That's what he told me to do. And so I did. I did exactly what he said. But I'm going to read you verse 38. So Peter asked to be crucified upside down. It says, and when they had hung him up in the manner he desired, he began to say, ye men unto whom it belongeth to hear. Okay, here it goes. And when they had hanged him up in the manner he desired, he began to say, ye men unto whom it belongeth to hear, hearken to that which I shall declare to you at this special time as I hang here. I'm going to stop for a sec. That's no different than the Bible saying, whoever has an ear, let him hear, like in Revelation, okay? Look at the way this is written, it's the same thing. Listen. And he began to say, ye men unto whom it belongeth to hear. There it is. Hearken to that which I shall declare to you at this special time as I hang here. So he's hanging there upside down, you guys. Learn ye the mystery of all nature and the beginning of all things. So now we're back in Genesis, the birthing of Cain. What it was, for the first man whose race I bear in my appearance, which was Cain, or the race of whom I bear the likeness, fell. See right there, fell, like from heaven, was born head downwards, and showed forth a manner of birth, as was not heretofore, for it was dead, having no motion. He then, being pulled down, who also cast his first state down upon the earth, established this whole disposition of all things, being hanged up in the image of creation, wherein he made the things of the right hand into those of the left, and those of the left hand into those of the right. And he changed about all the marks of their nature, so that he thought those things that were not fair to be fair, and those things that were in truth evil to be good. So he's saying, like, the first man that was born from this union, head down, which was Cain, who he bears the likeness of, changed about all the marks of their nature, that those things that were really fair to be unfair, and those things which were evil to be good. So they changed about all the marks of our nature. Turned everything upside down and backwards. Now watch this. So he says he turned about, so here it is. So wherein he made the things of the right hand into those of the left, and those of the left into those of the right. Let me show you a picture of what that looks like right now. Okay, so here's what that looks like. Look right here. So if this is Jesus on the cross, and Jesus was a spiritual being, so Peter was crucified upside down to show you the representation of the system. So in order to make the things of Peter's right hand as those of the left, and those of the left as those of the right, you'd have to turn this upside down, see? Because right becomes left, left becomes right, that above becomes that below. So it's that simple to understand the greatest mystery of everything. All you have to do is turn it upside down. That's what it means. You must make the things of the right hand as those of the left, and those of the left as those of the right, those above as those below. The only way to do that is to turn you upside down. It's so crazy. It's so perfect. And then watch this. So see, there's a representation of Jesus on the cross and Peter on the cross. So to unlock this door, you'd have to go. That's why the Vatican is a big serpent, and it's an upside down cross that turns into a big serpent. And then look, now you take my testimony, 100% nylon, you turn it upside down, 100% no line. See? It's perfect. And, and that's the way I'm able to feed the sheep. Let me show you. Here's Nefertiti in the hieroglyph of Akhenaten and Nefertiti. And when you turn her upside down, she becomes a dead sheep. Okay, so look, I'll show you. There's Nefertiti right there. And then I'll just turn it upside down. And there's the dead sheep. There's the eye of the sheep. There's the teardrop. There's the tongue sticking out of the mouth. There's the nose. Top of the head, there's the ear, there's the eye, there's the teardrop. So again, I'll take an image of the Virgin right here, and if I turn this image of right here of the Virgin upside down, Peter, feed my sheep. So all I have to do is turn this Virgin upside down, and I fed you by showing you the truth. The Virgin equals dead sheep. So the way you feed the sheep is you show them the truth by turning everything upside down. Let's finish the Acts of Peter real quick, at least this one part. Ready? So here we go. Sorry. It's here somewhere. Hang on one sec. There we go. Okay, so they hung him up upside down, and he began to say, Ye men unto whom it belongeth to hear, because it's a gift just to get to hear it. Hearken, listen to that which I shall declare to you at this special time as I hang here. By the way, Jesus told him he would be hanging there upside down. Learn ye the mystery of all nature. So now he's saying, learn the mystery of all nature and the beginning of all things, what it was. For the first man whose race I bear in my appearance, which is Cain, or the race of whom I bear the likeness, fell from heaven, was born head downwards. Because we all come out of our mom head downwards, and showed forth the manner of birth as was not heretofore, for it was dead, having no motion. He then, being pulled down, who cast his first state down upon the earth, established his whole disposition of all things, being hanged up in the image of creation, wherein he made the things of the right hand into those of the left, and those of the left into those of the right. And he changed about all the marks of their nature, so that he thought that those things that were not fair to be fair, and those things that were in truth evil to be good. Concerning, here it is, watch this. Okay, ready? Concerning what the Lord saith in a mystery. Unless you make the things of the right hand as those of the left, and those of the left as those of the right, and those above as those below, and those behind as those before, ye shall not have knowledge of the kingdom. And what it's saying right there is, unless you turn everything upside down and backwards, you will have no knowledge of the kingdom of God, which is exactly correct. 100% nylon. Turn it upside down, Jonathan. Now, that's why all over the world, all these big monuments, they put a reflecting pool in front of them because they're mocking us. They know that they know the system. Watch, let me prove that to you. Okay, because like the Taj Mahal or or the Washington Monument. They do it all the time. There you go. See, look. Washington Monument, big reflecting pool. No different than Peter and Jesus right side up, upside down on the cross. See it right there? There you go. Same thing. Okay, now watch this. Same thing, Taj Mahal. Okay, by the way, same thing is nylon, no line. Okay, here is the federal building bombing in Oklahoma City. Right here, there's the memorial they made. Look, there it is. Look, mirror reflection. Same thing right there. So this is their MO. They do it all the time. And it's just because they know that's why they use the number 69 all the time to mock you. By the way, we were given that heads up also in the Bible again in Matthew. It says there was darkness over the land from the 6th hour to the 9th hour. Get it? Just like the Heineken commercials, 6 and 9. 6 flesh, 9 judgment. So it's so obvious now. Okay, see the Taj Mahal? What's the similarity? Same thing, right side up, upside down. There it is again. There it is. It's consistent. It's perfect. Okay, Eiffel Tower. I mean, you just couldn't even think this stuff up. There you go. So there you go. I mean, the the reality of the truth is this: right side up, upside down, superhuman angel demon inside one host body, everyone except all those that have been washed out. Now there's just a lot of demons going around in host bodies that have taken over the system. And that's why in Matthew 27:45, look what it says. Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. Okay, now think about that. From the 6th hour to the 9th hour. Look at what you're looking at right here in a Heineken commercial. And 9/11, the angel of the bottomless pit. See the 11, 6 and 9. Told you, told you. It's like, isn't this staggering? Is this not staggering? It's just staggering. Yep. There you go, guys. I told you, the Lord God is perfect. He does not make mistakes, and when He doles out information, boy, He knows how to dole it out. There you go. There's a representation of the locks. So Jesus represented good. Peter represented that which is evil. To open this lock, you got to turn that upside down, and the door opens. You make the things of the right as those of the left, those of the left as those of the right, those above as those before, and the door opens. You unlock the door. That's why the Vatican itself, look, there's the Vatican. The Vatican turns into a snake because we got turned upside down and we got turned into the serpent. I mean, tell me, guys, how profound is all this? Doesn't it just give you the greatest peace in the world? It's like, oh my gosh. Anyway, okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let me show you just a couple more pictures real quick to show you how this is, the whole world system is just, I mean, it's here. They're here to destroy everything now. It's like, there's no way out of it. Let's see. Okay, I have there you go, right here. This is the one, I believe. Maybe, maybe not. Okay. The W system is the whole deal, and there you go, hunted for dinner. Just like I told you. See, 400, the word 400 in the Bible means food because it's called 400, like 400. And in the Strong's Concordance, 400 means prey or food supply. That's what 400 means. Look, watch this. 400 right here. Food supply, mealtime, prey. That's what 400 is. See right here, 400. Okay, well, 400, the guy that made, this clothing line, YG, brother of understanding, brother of an intelligent one. Okay, well, look. See 400 right here? It really means hunted. The word hunted is hunted, and then spelled backwards, Dinnuh, dinner. Hunted for dinner. 400. What's hunted for dinner? You see the angel right there? Angels are hunted for dinner. Now, let me make the final point. Wearing his, with his shoes. Okay, what's it say? Lost angels, 400. They're hunted for dinner, food, prey. Again, you got your host body, so you got to walk around in a set of shoes. So F you, pay me. He wants your soul. Now, what's even crazier is even the bottoms of these shoes. Watch this. You have a right side up triangle, and then you have you got one right side up, one upside down right here. And it's three dots. Apollyon, the angel of the bottomless pit. Right there. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Every single thing, all the numbers of dots on here, every single thing is significant right out of the Bible. Everything on this shoe. I looked it all up. You got your host body? F you, pay me. He wants your soul, folks. The only way to come to the knowledge of the truth is to turn the world upside down. That's the only way to feed the sheep. Only way. That's why the Lord chose me to do it, because I was the guy that was falling out of the sky upside down in all my point of purchase ads, so I would be able to see and understand and know that everything was correct. I had to live the exact life I led. He made sure I was a skydiver. He made sure I had a girlfriend named Eleuthera. He made sure everything was perfect in my life to understand this. There you go. I mean, these are different jumps. This jump, and this jump. Those are all different jumps, and they're all point of purchase. They were all to be used for point of purchase ads. No shoes. I don't have shoes on in this jump. I have shoes on in this jump. I have yellow sunglasses in this jump. I have mirror reflective red in this jump. Okay, so you see, vampires, cannibal. When you fell from heaven upside down, you fell into a cannibalistic system, Cain and Abel. So it's like, can't make this stuff up. And now we have two shipping containers that are in Grand Junction at the corner of Rainbow and Casimir. 154. Shema, O Israel, for the Lord your God is one. 54. Isaiah 54. As it was, this is as it was with my servant Noah. As I made a covenant with him, so shall I make a covenant with you of everlasting peace. And the containers at Casimir, proclamation of peace. And I went to the X-Men movie. The Lord told me to go watch Dark Phoenix, remember? And the movie ends, X-Men movie ends at the corner of Rue de la Paix, which means Street of Peace. X-Men, which is what's on my canopy. It's like, it's like you can't even think this up. Anyway, I hope this gives you great peace and great, just, yeah, group hug. I love you guys. Yay, around the world. So we're organizing right now. We're getting ready to, we'll be letting you guys know. We'll make sure we'll give you at least a week heads up before the event. And we'll let you guys know. We're trying to get some stuff ready and get some, details worked out. Anyway, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. All right, guys. Love you guys. God bless. You know what? Let's see. One more thing I wanted to show you. All over the United States are these signs. It's neighborhood watch. Let me show you what it really is. It's really a sheep getting its head cut off. Look. I took this sheep, I turned it upside down. Look. And all I'm going to do is go like that. That hat is a sheep's head. See it? It's a dead sheep. Feed my sheep. There you go. They plan on killing all the sheep. That's the thing. So all you got to do is take the sheep head and swap it right where the hat is. Watch. Bam. Told you. So they're just mocking the crap out of us. They're going to kill all the sheep. Anyway, this is Jesus' kingdom. This is what he This is what he meant by, you know, the greatest of all is the servant of all. So his kingdom is upside down compared to Satan's kingdom. Satan's kingdom is a right side up triangle, which is the all seeing eye. Jesus is the opposite. So the greatest of all is the servant of all. So that represents Jesus. And then you turn one upside down, you got another building block. You got here's like one Petros, another Petros, another Petros, another. So, if you're upside down, picture an upside down cross right here. And then you turn it right side up. Another one, boom. Another one, boom. Another one, boom. Another one, boom. Every time you turn one right side up, you get another building block. You see it? Boom, 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 boom. That's the way you get the building blocks for the new city of peace. Isn't this amazing? It's so cool. All right, guys. Anyway, just want to share that with you. That's what's going to happen. That's what's up. We got a meeting to attend. We have an event. All right, guys. God bless. And I'll catch you real soon. Tomorrow, the next day. We'll see.